Well, let's get on to it then. What it's all about, because it's been an interesting week. I would have think for you with your staff and your players, because it was video watch the last time we spoke to you after a couple of days of a poor result against Burton. How's the response been?
It's been fine. I've tried to stay away from them as much as I can, to be quite honest. Because I think my mood would have impacted possibly on them. I think if I was around them I wasn't in on Monday, I was on a course, but if I was around them for longer than needed to be on Tuesday and yesterday, then I'd have probably, I don't know, two-footed a couple of them, even Thursday after last Saturday. Not that I'm condoning that, obviously. It's a tongue-in-cheek gesture before anybody says I'm trying to hurt my own players. But look, I've got to pick myself up. The lads have got to pick themselves up, and we've got to go again. It's as simple as that. I'm telling the players, I said to the staff, it felt last week like my wife had cheated on me. That's how sort of hurtful it was, to be honest. And we've got to get back at it. We've got to heal them wounds quickly and go again.
You've said that also earlier in the week that if anybody came knocking on the door, of course, about might not be in the team and they've got an excuse, you wouldn't stand for that. I know you're not going to tell us the team, but one question I'm going to put to you is, have you selected the team, or is the final training session the one that fills in all the team sheet for tomorrow?
No, we had a discussion yesterday morning. We then watched them train. We then had a discussion yesterday afternoon. We've had a final discussion this morning. And we've just picked the team. So they'll find out in the next hour or so.
What are you expecting then, from them? Now, it's all about, you've said many times, the word professional is in your remit. That's what you'll want, a professional performance and a working performance.
Yeah, look, we've got to put in a bit of context the fact that we don't, them performances don't come around that often. That's the first thing, thankfully. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be sat here. But whenever we've had a blip, we've tend to have got a response. And that's what we've got to have again. We can't accept what happened last Saturday in any way, shape or form. And we've got to make sure we put it right as a football club, as a team. That includes me and Kenny and all the rest of the staff and the players. It's not us and them. It's never been us and them. It's a we. And we've got to make sure that, we prepare them as best we can and so that we can get 3 points.
And for the players as well, for all the players, whether they're under contract, whether they're out of contract, whether they may think they're going to get a move, they've got to perform, haven't they? It's not the end of the season. Yeah,
I say it often enough that footballers are self-employed in a team sport. If they don't perform well, don't blame your teammates, don't blame the manager, don't blame the football club. Look at yourself. I weren't given a fair crack of the whip. No, you didn't do enough. Whatever the reason is, up and down the country, that's not reflecting well enough on your own performances. So, the lads have got to understand where they went wrong last week, and we've helped them with that. And they've got to do better than what they did, and they've got to be mistake-free. And they've certainly got to be more professional, if you like.
They're fighting for their lives, Northampton, aren't they? It's been a hard time for, a couple of the teams who came up with you. Plymouth and yourselves are having good, decent seasons, but for Northampton and Swindon, it's been a hard slog, and they're under new management as well.
Yeah. When we played them earlier on the season, Keith Curl, a good friend of mine, was saying that, he's finding it tough and the players are finding it tough and they lack a bit of quality. And obviously that was before January and they've added a bit of quality. But they're still having a right good goal and they're still fighting for their lives. And I'm sure the new manager will have that as an absolute minimum. They've got some quality. They've certainly got a way of playing that I think everyone knows about. And we've got to make sure we're better than them on the day. We were last time, but it took until the 94th minute against 10 men. So, we've got to play even better than what we did at home. And if we do, then we've got a great chance of winning the game. But anything less than that, you're in the lap of the football gods at times.
You've got to change. It's never really been in the last few years a happy hunting ground, has it, down there? And it's an interesting fact and figure here, Dave. I know it might make you smile, but I think you haven't won 11 games on a Saturday. Would you believe that? And Northampton have only won 2 games on a Saturday. Wow.
It's interesting, isn't it? We had 20 quid on a draw then, Graham. I didn't know that. No, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, that. Yeah, look, we've got to do better on a Saturday. That's when we play games. It's not rocket science, is it? It's not rocket science. We've got to do better.
That's right. It's all about Saturday afternoon, and it's all about your next game. I just want to mention one player in particular. You've talked many, many times in interviews about sending players out to further their careers and get out in non-league. I know he's not a youngman, but Billy Sass-Davis is having a decent little time at Yeovil, and he's got honoured this week by being selected for the Wales under-21. So for your part of it, it's working right for you.
Yeah, that's what we want from this kind of loan spell. I have to say, if we could, we'd send more out now. We can't because of the 23s matches and the lack of football being played. But Billy's having a terrific little spell because he needed to play men's football. He's gone beyond 23s football. We didn't feel he was quite ready for League One football, but we knew he wasn't far off. So we had to find him somewhere, and I know Darren quite well. The Oval manager, he's a good guy, real good guy, and he's took him under his wing, and Darren and Terry Skibberton, who are down there, are getting some performances out of him. So we hope that'll continue.
It's a big blow, isn't it, for football league clubs who want to send out players to the non-league, but it's a massive blow to what's happened to the non-league circles as well, that they're not playing football. And I suppose that there's a knock-on effect for everybody, like you've just mentioned about yourselves.
Yeah. No, we're not as bad as some clubs. Some clubs have been decimated. There's a club in the conference that aren't even playing football. So it doesn't go too far further down than us. And earlier on the season, there was talk about lots of football clubs. Lots and lots of football clubs, League One clubs, big League One clubs, potentially being close to going to the wall. Never mind League Two clubs and conference clubs. So we know that times are still tough, but at least we're playing football. I have to say, at least we're playing football, which is a godsend, really, I have to say. And we're thankful for the government for allowing us to, I have to say. So, we've got a duty to perform. And we hope as the successful vaccine programme gets rolled out, we're hoping that, by the start of next season, then it's all over and done with, and we're sort of treating it as a flu season every year.
Yeah, just one final point on all that. You'll feel for all our local non-league clubs, won't you? Because you've got a great relationships with the Nantwitches, the Leaks, the Kids Groves of this world, and all of them. You've probably played them all in many pre-seasons gone by.
Yeah, I spoke to Bakes last week at League. I spoke to Gary Martindale at Whitton. Spoke to Cookie last week. You speak to a lot of them because that football's their life as well, or for the large parts of it. So keeping them relationships going and wishing them well in a real tough time is important. It's important, and I'm hopeful that when we do get back at it, we can pick up where we left off with them local clubs, not just them ones. You've got your Altrinchams with Phil, and even further afield with FC United and Ashton United and all them kind of clubs. So we're hoping that them links carry on so that they aid the development of our footballers and they get performances like Yeovil are getting out of Billy now.